The sexual connotations of Freud's origin story may serve as metaphor for all of our political and economic dealings, a connection confirmed by brain research. Wanting to see how humans make financial decisions, economists found that while weighing monetary risks, the same areas in men's brains light up as when they're watching titillating sexual images. In fact, after having seen such images, men throw all caution overboard and gamble more money than they normally would. In the words of one neuroeconomist, the link between sex and greed goes back hundreds of thousands of years to men's evolutionary role as provider or resource gatherer to attract women. This doesn't sound much like the rational profit maximizers that economists make us out to be. Traditional economic models don't consider the human sense of fairness, even though it demonstrably affects economic decisions. They also ignore human emotions in general, even though the brain of Homo economicus barely distinguishes sex from money. Advertisers know this all too well, which is why they often pair expensive items, such as cars or watches, with attractive women. But economists prefer to imagine a hypothetical world driven by market forces and rational choice rooted in self-interest. This world does fit some members of the human race who act purely selfishly and take advantage of others without compunction. In most experiments, however, such people are in the minority. The majority is altruistic, cooperative, sensitive to fairness, and oriented toward community goals. The level of trust and cooperation among them exceeds predictions from economic models. We obviously have a problem if assumptions are out of whack with actual human behavior. The danger of thinking that we are nothing but calculating opportunists is that it pushes us precisely toward such behavior. It undermines trust in others, thus making us cautious rather than generous. As explained by American economist Robert Frank, what we think about ourselves and our possibilities determines what we aspire to become. The pernicious effects of the self-interest theory have been most disturbing. By encouraging us to expect the worst in others, it brings out the worst in us. Dreading the role of the chump, we are often loath to heed our nobler instincts. Frank believes that a purely selfish outlook is ironically not in our own best interest. It narrows our view to the point that we're reluctant to engage in the long-term emotional commitments that have served our lineage so well for millions of years. If we truly were the cunning schemers that economists say we are, we'd forever be hunting hare, whereas our prey could be stag. The latter refers to a dilemma first posited by Jean-Jacques Rousseau in A Discourse on Inequality that is gaining popularity among game theorists. It's the choice between the small rewards of individualism and the large rewards of collective action. Two hunters need to decide between each going off alone after hare or both sticking together and bringing home stag. Much bigger game, even if halved. In our societies, we have successfully formalized layers of trust, allowing us to pay with credit cards, for example, not because the shop owner trusts us, but because he trusts the card company, which in turn trusts us, which means that we engage in complex stag hunts. But we don't do so unconditionally. With some people, we embark on cooperative ventures more willingly than with others. Productive partnerships require a history of give and take and proven loyalty. Only then do we accomplish goals larger than ourselves. The difference is dramatic. In 1953, 8 mountaineers got into trouble on K2, one of the highest and most dangerous peaks in the world. In -40 degrees Celsius temperatures, one member of the team developed a blood clot in his leg. Even though it was life-threatening for the others to descend with an incapacitated comrade, no one considered leaving him behind. The solidarity of this group has gone down in history as legendary. Contrast this with the recent drama in 2008, in which 11 mountaineers perished on K2 after having abandoned their common cause. One survivor lamented the drive for self-preservation. Everybody was fighting for himself, and I still don't understand why everybody were leaving each other. The first team was hunting stag, the second, hare.